Right. So I'll just go through two important principles behind algebra. And if you're finding this is difficult, go back to the little YouTube videos, and William and I are going to try and make some more, but we've actually got a couple of more Excel ones to make first. Or come back to this lecture on video. Okay, now two important rules. One is that you can group things that are the same. And for something to be the same, they have to have the same letter next to them. Now that first YouTube video about algebra, the one that says it's for very beginners, shows it really, really well. The guy's a bit dry, but he does sort of show how things work quite well. So here we've got 3p plus 4p plus 2q. Anything that's got the same, like that's 3p and 4p, we can add together, so that's 7p, but the q has to stay where it is. So it's saying like 3 pairs and 2 quinces or whatever. And here, once you've got a squared term, you can't add it in. So that just stays equals 5p squared plus, we've got a 4p and a 6p, so that's 10p, and then plus 3q. So that's one of the main rules is that. So one is that you group things that are the same. And the second one is whatever you do to an equation should maintain its truth. Now, one of the problems is the equal sign. And throughout your time at school, equals has meant a lot of different things. And quite often, equals means give the answer, which is why it's very exciting that these days, calculators no longer have an equals sign. They have an execute button, which is what they should always have had. And in fact, in a whole lot of junior maths, I sometimes wonder if we should ever have used the equal sign. It should have been an execute thing instead. Because equals means these things on either side of this sign are the same or are equivalent or are equal. So what it's saying here is that 3w plus 5 equals 17. So whatever we do to this side, we have to do to this side. So we want to get our w by itself, so we go 3w plus 5, we want to take away 5, and this is 17, take away 5. So that's exactly the same, except we're taking away 5 on both sides. That goes down to nothing, so it's 3w equals 12. Then we want to get rid of that 3 beside the w, which is a times. So in order to undo a times, we do divided by. So we have 3w divided by 3 equals 12 divided by 3. So long as we do the same thing to both sides of the equal sign, the equation will maintain its truth. So w equals 4. And you should always check by putting it back in. So 3 times 4 plus 5 equals 17. Yep, that's correct. So that's the cool thing about solving equations is you can always make sure they're right. So nobody should ever get a solve the equation problem wrong in the quizzes because you can always substitute them back in and make sure they're right. Okay, so hints. Try to do things to make the expression less complicated, so like grouping things together or putting numbers together and stuff like that. Be careful with negative numbers. Negative numbers, the negative sign belongs to the number after it. So you've got to make sure whatever you're doing with the thing with a minus sign that it stays together. And be careful with exponents. Now in the textbook on pages 101 onwards there's quite a lot about this, and there's the YouTube clips.